7 steps to tripling your income. So recently, as you know, I moved to Sedona, and I was here right at the beginning, and very much like, whoa, okay, it's more expensive than Iowa, which I knew. And so I was there, and I wrote to my mentor, Christiane Northrup, and I asked her about this subject, of increasing income and wealth, things for sure I had been exploring for a while, and just studying, practicing, all those things. And she sent me this fantastic email back giving me all these tips and a book which I checked out, which is I've read before, but it's good to read again, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And it brought me to another book that I also have, Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. And just in this real mindset of like, okay, we gotta up the money flow. We gotta do it fast. And so what I'm going to share with you is 7 tips that helped me triple my income, which is what's happened in the last couple months here. And I want to share this with you because I hope that it can help you too. And I also just want to keep it rolling. I want more and more and more. Why not? Who doesn't want more freedom and luxury and prosperity? So these steps are what inspired me from these books and just my living and making this a reality in my life. So step number 1, desire. Desire is so essential to increasing income. I love the subject so much of increasing income because to increase our wealth, we have to increase our consciousness. We have to heal our wounds. We have to expand. We got to grow. We got to let go of what isn't working in a major way. It's one of my favorite topics. My toes are wiggling. Means I'm excited. And so, desire. Why do you want this? What turns you on about accumulating more and bringing in more abundance? What really turns you on about that? For me, it was a real quick need. Okay, I got a big house, and here we are. I love Sedona. We're staying here, so we got to do this fast, and let's do it. It became a really easy thing for me to connect into my desire. So in this first step, I offer you the opportunity to get really clear. Write it down. Why do you want this? Listen to music. Go for your walks. Do your practice. Get into that hot, juicy emotion of why do you need this? Because I'm sure if you looked in your life in any single situation where you have manifested something quickly, it's because you were in a very direct connection to the reasons why you passionately wanted it. You are frequency emanating information out to this universe. And if it is clear and specific, it advances what you want quickly. Step number 2, Dharma. Why are you here? Sanskrit word for meaning your path, why it is you showed up. I want to ask you a question. Are you in your Dharma? Are you doing the right thing? And I want you to go with what you first felt. If you're in a job that you hate, and you feel stuck in your life, and you know what I'm talking about, and I'm talking to you, it's harder to manifest flow if you're not in the flow and in the role of why you're meant to be here. These steps, you can repeat them as often as you wish. They're going to go deep here. So this is perhaps this whole other video on its own. But if you're not in your Dharma, surround yourself with people who are. And get into that experience of watching or feeling into them being on their path. And then that will automatically get you closer and closer. They're telling me more, though, specifically that the people I'm reaching in this video, if you know you're not in your Dharma, this is the video that I hope to activate you to being courageous and bold and saying, okay, by this date, I'm either out of this job or I'm either committing to this, whatever. I am on my path. I'm getting pregnant, right? Dharma can be a whole bunch of different things. It's the role, it's your purpose of living. When you are connected to that, flow is easier. It just is. So this second step is giving you permission. If you're already in your Dharma, awesome. We're going to talk about another step later on. The final step will help you in this pursuit as well. But if you're not, I'm setting the intention that this is the video that gives you the courage and the permission to leave behind everything you don't need to embrace and accept your karma as you know it and your Dharma. Step number 3, getting specific. So what really helped me a couple months ago was like, okay, we got to pull this in right now. This is what we need. We got to do this on a monthly way. This is what needs to happen. get specific. People sometimes say to me, I don't want to get specific because I have to get specific. It didn't happen in the past. And so if you have that block, totally get it. Add in to the getting specific this or something better. So this is what I intend to receive by this date. This is my monthly income. You say it out loud as much as you can. You write it down. You put it on your computer screensaver. You chant it as much as you can. You get into the feeling. You welcome that resistance as it comes up. I can't do that. So who am I to, right? You be with it. You love it. You get specific. This is what I need. You go back to step 1. This is my desire. This is why we need it. And then step 4, just did a video on this topic, really important, but I need to bring it up here, faith. Move into that juicy, magnetic, amazing feeling that you know it's going to happen to you. And this is a practice. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. I think of one client I've been working with for years. She's such an inspiration to me because what she chants to me a lot is, everything is working out for me. I don't know how, but I know that it is. I've seen her work through some hard stuff, and she comes out so victorious again and again and again because she roots into that in the darkest moments. I don't know how this is a blessing for me, but I know that it can be, and I know that I'm on the way to seeing that unfold as a gift for me in this moment. It's such powerful thinking. Again, a whole other video, I just did one, but please post if you've got more on this topic. I would love to hear it. Faith, rooting into that so fully. This is possible. You deserve it. For me, what really shifted with faith is owning that this profession is essential for people. I had to shift, getting to the place where this is like, oh yeah, this is going to be fun today. Instead of, no, I'm going to change lives. I'm going to create the opportunity to work with guidance that is so high, so life-shifting that this person comes on off this call and they are changing their life. They're bringing more joy and peace and prosperity and love and kindness to this earth. And that's my mission in this session. That's what I had to shift and really get into the essential nature of what I'm doing. That helped me really root into a greater sense of faith. The next step, step number 5, is visioning and acting as if. So old school vision boarding, right? It doesn't, old school is like 5 years ago or something. Anyway, but like whatever it is that you are doing your meditations, you are as much as you possibly can getting into the space and mind frame of seeing what you want, looking to people. How are they moving? If this did occur for me, if I was pulling in this income, what would be different? How would I move? How would I breathe? How would I live my life? What would that be? And just visualizing like a mama. Oh, I love it. Next step, step number 6 is service. Keeping it real as to why are you providing this service, right? Really rooting into why are you doing what you're doing? And this, again, what I was saying really helped me shift. Instead of just doing my phone sessions, I'm like, okay, we're going to save lives. We're going to move on in. We're going to do some massive shifting for these people. And we're going to get them feeling elational. We're going to give them the key to their dreams. That's kind of what I chant to myself before I start working. Like, let's do this. Like, let's pull it in. And it shifts things. It does. It really, really does. So getting into, once you receive this wealth and abundance, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to give back? How are you going to contribute? What are you going to bring here? Connect into that desire. Having said that as well, what's really important to do if you're not feeling abundant is to move into service. There are periods in the past where I've felt very poor and just like, oh my God, that scarcity mindset. And this is why it's essential to do a system like this, because it doesn't matter what system it is, but meaning that if it's one that gets you into a higher frequency, it's working. If it's one that's bringing in more wealth and abundance, it's working. The reason why we need systems, the reason why we need to follow steps like these is because if you don't, the programming and the systemic virus of doubt and scarcity will leak on in and it will block your money flow. And so one thing to do though, because we have those blocks and we're like, okay, I'm blocked. I feel really poor and I have no idea how to get out this and I'm terrified. One thing that can actualize it is getting into step number 6, which is service. And what I've done in the past is I've worked with the homeless. I've been like, okay, I'm giving you my service. I'll do sessions, in the past, I just did them for $10, $25 when I was first starting and just like, oh my God, I don't know how I can make this a career, but I'm just going to give of myself. I'm going to connect in, be of service in every way, shape, and form that I can. And I just focused on that element, and then the money gets flowing again. It always does. Step number 7. Oh, such an important step. Such an important step. And if you look at anyone who has tripled their income or more, putting that one on the more, what they have done is they have mastered persistency. They have practiced a system like this, done these 7 steps, done any sort of program, but they have persistently, day after day after day after day, done it again and again, over and 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 over. And they have just kept at it. They've kept at it. In the moments when they didn't want to do it and they didn't believe in themselves and they thought, oh my gosh, this is never going to happen, they kept doing it. They kept doing their mantras. They kept doing their visualizing. They kept kicking to the curb those old programmings. And the reason why I love this subject, again, as I mentioned earlier, is you have to heal some deep inner wounds. You do. You got to get into all the crap that was there that said you don't deserve this. And I don't know why my guides are like obsessively asking me to tell a story. So I'm just going to tell a story right now. And I don't know how it relates to all this. Oh, that's how they're saying it relates. Okay, cool. So recently, in the last couple of years, I've had a major breakthrough with tantrums, meaning I have a 3.5-year-old, so I've spent a good couple years here on this subject. And what really helped me was this book called Listen, and I'll put a link to it in the description here. And what shifted, and they're saying that this will actually shift when we sort of address our inner child, is that when my son started losing his poop, it's happening recently in a grocery store and screaming. What I'd always done before was like done everything possible not to be embarrassed, right? Like, let's just get him out. Let's do anything, just get him to quiet down, right? When I shifted and I showed up for him and I said, I don't care what anybody thinks, buddy. I'm going to stay with you. We're going to be here together. I'm not going to let you hit me. I'm not going to let you hit yourself. Maybe I'm going to hold you. And if you need to scream and let all this out, I'm just going to be here with you as you do that. At the end, what happened was the most beautiful bonding and incredible experience that I highly recommend to anyone. And what they're saying is that on the process to receiving, this is why it's such an awesome topic and why I love it so much, greater abundance, to tripling your income and beyond, you got to stay with that inner child. You got to stay with them. You got to be with them in the moments when they're like, I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. Oh my God, how's this? I hate this. I hate this. You got to stay with them. You got to love them. You got to listen to them. You got to hold them just like I held my son. Because then at the end, you've bonded with that little part of yourself that's terrified of becoming wealthy. We are programmed that if you accumulate lots of money, we're programmed that it's a bad thing. We just told that for a long time. When the reality is that when highly conscious, awakened people accumulate lots of abundance, there's a lot of great stuff that happens with it. There just is. I've seen it. I've experienced it in my life. And that's my intention in making this video, is I'm reaching you as a highly evolved, conscious person, because I know what you're going to do with all that money. And I get excited. I can feel into it. And I'm setting the intention that this is the video that shifts you into the earning status that you want to be at. It gives you the specific tools that kicks all that doubt and insecurity to the curb and triples your income and beyond. Please report success stories. Please report any additional tips that you have on any of these steps that I've included. And let's support each other. Let's change this world. Let's get more and more abundant in every way, shape, or form to help us heal, to help so many heal. Let's utilize this flow to change the world. Done. Done and done. Lots of love. Until soon. I'm also putting out there that I keep getting these visions of speaking in front of small groups. Putting that out there. There we go. Have a glorious day. Happy New Year. Until soon. Bye-bye.